Hey, how's it going, guys?
Welcome to another episode of ACM.
That's right, ACM, the podcast, YouTube thingamabobber where we just talk about
Mercs.
gaming.
Yeah, as you can see, we've been a little busy the last couple months playing other things and expanding our horizons.
And oh, how they've expanded
Yes.
in lots of good ways.
So we are back tonight to talk about Mercs
That's
2.0.
Right. That's right.
Minus the edging on our books.
No, you know what?
Mine is free.
Mine's unique and one of a kind.
Yes. Very.
So, we wanted to start out tonight. We've been on hiatus.
Kind
of like a hiatal hernia, if you will.
Well, I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm not going to...
Don't even get it started.
I'm not even going to lie that I've been a little upset with MegaCon Games.
But we're here for you.
But we are here for you, the people that enjoy
and we hope
our silliness.
And we hope that you're cool with it, because not only are we going to be talking about Mercs in the future, but it's time for us, Danger Society, whoa! It's time for us to kind of expand into some other areas as well. Maybe some games that you want to hear talked about, want to see talked about, want to know more about. Some things that we're interested in. Maybe you familiar with a game that we are not, and we're always up for finding a fun new game to try and play up here at the clubhouse.
Very much so.
So, but we wanted to start out tonight. One of the questions that we've gotten asked, besides the fact of when are we going to finish the $20 challenge? Soon.
You can see that there is still
the material. Well, no, they can't because of our pile of games we've been playing. But what we wanted to start out with for tonight, the question was asked, in our opinion, what would be maybe some good factions from Mercs to play if you're just getting started, if you're just beginning, if you're just starting out fresh.
Yes.
And I will tell you that my thoughts on that have actually changed somewhat over the past several months.
Right.
I think probably there was the assumption as we were working on the Overwatch podcast and as we were doing some early episodes that probably the best faction to get started with might be what John lovingly refers to as the Tri-C.
Yes.
Because we touted their versatility.
Yeah.
But I know that my thoughts on that have changed. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to kind of take turns. And so, John, for you personally, sell us on the faction if you were just getting started out playing Mercs. Which faction would you pick? And go ahead and sell us on why. By the way, this is John. I'm Brian, in case you forgot.
They probably did, because it's been like since August.
Yeah. Since
3 weeks before Gen Con.
Gen Con, what an amazing experience.
What an amazing experience.
Yeah. Okay. So which faction for you do you think for the beginning player that wants to get into this and have some success?
I would honestly say now, after playing for a while, I would say Kemvar.
Okay, I promise we didn't even work on this. We didn't really talk about this. He's kind of had his thoughts. I've had mine. I'm going to say the exact same thing. So go ahead and let's hear why you tout Kemvar as being a good choice for
I think Kemvar because they have a really solid mix that utilizes a lot of the rules.
Mm-hmm.
They have two very, very deadly melee fighters.
Correct.
They've got one good melee range in the leader.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, to me, that's actually three good melee fighters, but yeah.
I like to use his guns more than I use the worker's heart.
Right. And that's a fundamental difference maybe between our play styles, and yet, probably for similar reasons, we think that that's a good choice for the first faction.
Yeah. And then they've got just all 10 of their mercs, they cover all of the steps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've got the breacher, they've got, the engineer type, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while. I'm running off of a lot of memories right now.
Mm-hmm.
But they've got a decent sniper.
Yeah.
They've got an amazing heavy.
Yes. Yes,
opening up.
The more I play the heavy, the more I like it.
The more you like him. Yeah, exactly. And I know, I'm looking for the green. There we are. The wrench, he's awesome. There's the leader again. The demo. Those worm grenades are insane.
Yeah.
Especially if you can just like drop them down somebody's pants.
Right.
And go nuts in melee like we did that one time.
Yeah.
My
favorite model.
Scooby Del Casa.
Cooley Del Casa.
The amazing, the Del Casa brothers, the sniper. I mean, let's see, the shock.
Yeah, that's a beatdown.
The punch, knocking them back, knocking them off of things, knocking them into other items, solid objects.
Yeah.
The engineer with the knock breaching gun and the spy. Yeah. And then there we got the booster to give your enhancements. I swore by Tri-C when we first started this. I thought it was the greatest faction since sliced bread. And then we got that little dealio where we got the four armies and you got the Kemvar and
right.
I saw the Kemvar and then immediately found my own set and started playing them, and we played several games against each other with them.
Exactly.
And utilized different models, and
I
thought it was amazing.
You know, when I look at...
I'd like to get the rest of the models on the table, but I just can't seem to find the singles anywhere.
Right. When I think about why you would choose a particular faction to play, especially as a beginning player, you got to think about movement. You got to think about, of course, offense, both ranged and melee.
Yes.
And you definitely have to think about defense, okay? And those areas, you know, I kind of liken it to offense, defense, and special teams in football.
There you go.
Okay, so when you look at movement, the Kemvar troops generally have an excellent movement speed. They can get around the board relatively quickly.
And then some.
And so you can, oftentimes, if you find yourself in an untenable position, big word, untenable. When you find yourself in an untenable position, they've got the movement to be able to escape from those kind of situations. When you look at their offense, their ability to shoot, most of their guys have pretty decent ratings as far as being able to hit with their weapons.
Yes.
And you've got two melee guys that can go toe-to-toe with the behemoth for USCR and take him down. You've got another one that basically can knock somebody out of melee if they get too close to one of your guys that's not so good in melee.
Yes.
So you've got some options there, all right? So you've got the range covered, you got the melee attack covered. And then let's come to what I think is really the high point of Kemvar, and that's their defense. With that active camouflage, I want to tell you something. All other things considered, you can go ahead and you can stack up any other faction's abilities. You can stack up any other faction's particular models that you see as strengths. When you take Kemvar's active camouflage and you utilize that and you utilize it well, just to get that modifier, okay, I will tell you that creates a force that is very forgiving for a beginning player, that helps to basically minimize the consequences maybe of some mistakes that you've made in your movement and your deployment. And so I think for those reasons, you kind of have to go with Kemvar. And I actually, not only do I count that active camouflage as defense, I also count it as special teams. Each one of these troopers, much like the other factions, has their role to play within your overall force composition. It's just, to me, if you decide you want to be aggressive, Kemvar has the troops that you can do that with. If you decide that you want to play defense, then you can go ninja and you can kind of set your traps. You can wait and you can ambush people, the old bushwhacker tactics, the old guerrilla tactics. You can use them very effectively. Now, I will tell you, as a beginning player, one of the mistakes that a lot of people I think fall into in most miniature games is they get in, they want to have the stand-up gunfight. You know, this isn't Napoleonics. It isn't the American Revolution where you're playing the British.
Right.
Okay? So if you're going to try and go toe-to-toe with somebody like the USCR, the CCC, those other guys that you like to play, the gas station guys, Texaco. If you try to go toe-to-toe with those guys, even with your active camouflage, you're probably going to end up on the losing side because those guys have some abilities that enable them to outlast you in firefights.
The active camouflage just adds to
but
the normal playing of a defensive game.
It makes
you utilizing your cover and getting better cover out of it, and then having cover out, and
it basically makes you 20% harder to hit.
Yeah,
20% is huge in a miniatures game. Being 20% harder to hit than your enemy is huge. Now, USCR's got heavier armor than you do, and their weapons are going to be able to punch through, possibly damage, destroy your active camouflage. CCC,
yeah, but remember every time we broke their USC's armor, once we started breaking their armor and they couldn't move anywhere and they were just a bunch of statues.
Yeah, you can catch them. So that, and that's one of the things I used to think, okay, maybe USCR is a good faction, but the fact that they are limited movement-wise, yes, they have good armor. Yes, they have good weapons when they hit. They hit you very hard, but the problem is, once you begin to get damage on those guys, all of a sudden you're kind of like walking through a garden with all the statues and everything.
You are.
And, I look at the CCC, or as you say, the Tri-C. You don't want to go toe-to-toe with them either because they have some troops in their force. They're going to be able to mow you down. Even with, because look, template weapons, template weapons can ruin your day. So you have to be very careful with that. And against Texaco, those guys have some abilities with their ability to do the bounty, with the other things that they have going on. They can pretty much nullify your active camouflage. So you don't ever want to get into necessarily a straight stand up and shoot battle. You want to use your maneuverability. You want to use your talents. And you know what? Play around with these troops. With those assassins, with that leader, play around with them. See what you can do.
See what you can do. You can put a straight melee. I mean,
you can
3 or 5 guys. You take your shock, you take the assassin, you take the spy, you take the leader, and I haven't used the spy yet, but I mean,
he's nasty.
Yeah,
but I've taken the both the assassin and the leader, and with each of those models, I have taken down a behemoth with each of them individually. I've taken down a behemoth from being fresh with no damage whatsoever, no wounds, nothing.
Yeah.
I've taken a behemoth from basically untouched to destroyed in one turn. So I'm telling you, they have a very, very strong melee ability. And you also, of course, have good range attacks. You've got the sniper, you've got the heavy. And the heavy with the ability to move those guns around and move those arcs, you got to use that guy. And you'll come to love him like I have. At first, I was dead set against it. But once I got some clarification on how the rules work, and we'll have to address that in another episode.
Yeah.
But once I got clarification on that and saw, okay, you can move those firing arcs, made a huge difference. Okay. So we're talking about Kimvar maybe being our choice for the first faction we recommend for new players. Yeah. Let's maybe come to a consensus about 3. So if Kimvar, for whatever reason, was off the table, as a second faction for a starting player, which faction would you choose?
Oh, I would say Tri-C.
Okay. Go ahead and sell us on that.
I just think they've got a little bit of everything. Well, that's the thing now. Everybody's got a little bit of everything. With the 10 models, everybody's got everything. It's just a matter of picking those 5 that go out there.
Yeah. Makes me miss the old days.
That are what are you going to do? You've got all the flavors of ice cream and you can only have one topping on it.
Okay, so, but why CCC?
I don't know, just because that's what I started with.
Okay, fair enough.
That's what I started with.
I think
that was my first faction. I like their heavy.
Okay.
Never really been impressed with their sniper. I mean, granted, the auto hit was not, but never really been impressed with the sniper. Okay. He was too meh. Their medic is brutal. The leader is good. Mm-hmm. They're just a solid all-around force.
Fair enough. I think for me, the second choice would probably be Texaco. And that's more from playing against Texaco than actually playing them. I do have Texaco now. But when I look at their abilities, the ability that they have to stack the game modifiers to be successful.
The synergies.
Yeah, and I also think, to me, it strikes me that they are a forgiving faction to play. You can kind of get yourself into a bind with them and still pull it off. And as you've already established in several scenarios where you actually quit playing the scenario we were playing and you became king of scenarios, defending buildings.
Yes.
They can take and hold a position. They do that very effectively.
Brutal.
So I think for me, Kenvar would be first and Texaco would be second. All right, so for your third faction, if for whatever reason Kenvar and CCC is not an option for you.
I would go with Texaco.
For your third?
No, I really don't know, man.
Really?
I'm just trying to.
Really?
I'm trying to get.
No GCC love going on?
I haven't played them. I've got them.
Right.
I've got the GCC, and I've got the East India Company over there on the shelf in boxes.
Right.
And I mean, you got me GCC from Gen Con.
That's how we roll.
That's how we roll. And then I bought EIC the local game store for Inertia got them in.
Yep.
But I would have to go Texaco. I just their synergies. The Marshall,
Yeah.
picking your bounty and then just racking and stacking.
Mm-hmm.
Pluses and pluses and pluses and pluses. I mean, what was the one guy? I didn't even need to roll the dice to shoot him.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, just go ahead and put it on there. He's got a blood.
Okay. Well, for me, this may sound unusual,
Oh, very.
but I think for me, the third choice that I would make would be Kezewaza. And that may shock a lot of people because they've heard, well, it's difficult to get the TAC nuke off and things like that.
Not anymore.
Well, listen, here's the thing about the Waza, okay? Their troops are excellent.
Somebody was chewing on the book.
It wasn't me.
It was you.
The troops are excellent. They're able to dish out damage. They're able to take damage. They have a faction ability that basically once somebody's taken blood,
Yep.
then they get better at what they're doing. They
Yes.
and so that's awesome. And the ability, which it's not as hard to do as some people seem to have made it out to be, but the ability to activate that nuke, it's not that hard.
Not now. Now it's 4 of your 5 can have the.
Right. But the other thing that I think you discovered, and I was kind of glad it happened, that scenario where I played the Waza against you and actually got the nuke to go off.
Got the nuke to go
I
off.
think you were like freaking out at first because you're like, oh no, here we go. And
Well, I was playing Safadu first off.
right, but the thing of it is, remember this, that damage really is consistent with the damage, say, from the Behemoth,
Oh yeah.
getting locked down
It's not
somewhere
any.
and
The damage
setting
is not
and
any more
ripping.
brutal.
Yeah.
If I would have been Kenvar, nobody would have. I mean, my guy that was in the blast radius would have died.
Right.
But the guy that couldn't get out of there because he took the damage before the end of the turn,
Right.
you know what I mean, from the gas.
Yeah.
But Kenvar wouldn't have been affected by that at all. It's just the fact of that I was playing Safadu that it kind of
Yeah. Well, and the other
bit
thing
me
is,
in the butt.
again, if you take one of the heavies, Behemoth, or some of the others, especially if they have that big T template,
Yeah.
you can actually do more damage in one round with that than you can with the nuke because
What was that when I was also playing Safadu
right.
and I triggered
Yeah.
your Overwatch?
Yeah.
Deliberately triggered your Overwatch,
And bringing the template.
bringing your big T template out and killed and blooded how many of your
Yeah.
multiple?
Yeah.
The big T template, that was kind of brutal.
Yeah.
That was your house 4, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm glad this is a friendly show.
I am too. It's because I care.
Huh, huh, huh.
But I mean, my 3 then would be Kenvar for sure. We agree on that for number 1. My number 2 is Tri-C just because that's who I started with, and then I'm guessing Texaco. But I've become Texaco is my primary, so it's kind of
But we are
second nature to me to
Yeah.
play it now.
and we are talking about getting beginners into it. I know that when especially when 1.0 was out, it seemed to me when people would talk about some of these factions like Waza, they would say, nah, beginners don't need to play it. Listen to me.
The houses was the one that I was told to stay away from. Until you get really good at this game, stay away from.
You can start with any of them.
But house 4 with you once you get the cons thing down, their niche.
Right.
Every one of them has their little thing they do. Once you get their thing down, any one of them can be good as a beginner.
Right, and I think once you master the ACMs, once you understand how suppression works, once you understand Overwatch and how it works, once you really master snap to cover, there's really no faction that you really can't play. But as far as if you're one of those people that coming right out of the gate, you want to have a solid chance at snatching a win while you're learning the game.
Yeah,
I think Kemvar's number one.
definitely.
We both said that. I know you said.
Well, I talked Doug into buying Kemvar.
Right.
When they got him in at the store, he was like, "Well, what should I play?" And I'm like, "Grab the Kemvar."
And you said for your second choice CCC, for me it was Texaco.
Yep.
And then for you the third choice was Texaco.
Texaco.
For me the third choice was Waza. Okay.
So we definitely agree on Kemvar and Texaco.
Yeah, two good factions. And it's not lost on me that in the fluff of the universe, of the Mercs universe, that they're arch enemies. So check that out. Well, listen, we've really enjoyed talking with you this evening about Mercs, and it's good to be back.
Yes,
it's good to be back. And so we're looking forward to coming at you again, and not just talking about Mercs, but maybe looking into some other games, Dangerous Society. And so what we would like to do, if you have a moment, give us a comment. Let us know some other questions that you have. You can check us out, of course, here on our YouTube page. Also, we're on Facebook, are we not?
Yes.
Are we on the Twitter?
Not really.
We will be.
I'm not too much on Twitter.
What?
Yeah.
Come on, presidencies have been won on Twitter.
Whatever. Roll my eyes.
I roll. So check us out, and listen, leave a comment, and we look forward to talking with you soon, okay?
Yes, definitely.
Take care.
Bye-bye.